Hey guys, this is Jill Keller with a fabulous fall layout for a walk down memory lane. I am using the new company Photoplay, and this is their Autumn Day collection, and I got all of my papers from the Walk Down Memory Lane store, and I am making a really fun fall leaves layout. I started by cutting those 4 leaves on my silhouette. I just did a search in the silhouette store for leaves and found those. And then I also used a die to create all of the smaller leaves. I decided after I had all the pattern papers die cut that I needed a few solid color leaves. So I grabbed my Distress Ink mini cubes in fossilized amber, and I also use spiced marmalade, fired brick, and gathered twigs. I'm using a mini ink blending tool and just putting down some color. This is not going to be seamlessly blended as some people like to do, and I like that look too. I just wanted the color down and I wanted a little bit of overlapping, but I wasn't concerned with having it really well blended. It was going to be die cut and you probably wouldn't be able to tell anyway, so I didn't spend the time or the effort really getting a good blend with the inks. Distress inks are wonderful for that, and with a little bit of effort you can get some really beautiful colors out of the blends, but that's just not what I needed for this project. So now I'm putting down the fired brick, and next will be the spiced marmalade, and after that will be the gathered twigs. I let this piece of distress watercolor paper dry. This is a 4x6 piece of paper you can buy in a pack. I let it air dry. And while it was air drying, I decided I would go ahead and distress some of the leaves as well. In looking at the leaves, I thought that they needed a little bit more depth and a little bit more dimension. And so I went ahead and used some gathered twigs and some fired brick on every single leaf that I die cut. Lucky for you, I did not video myself doing that, or we would be watching an hour of me just rubbing ink on the edges of all those leaves because I cut way too many. Well, actually in the end you'll see I used almost all of them. So here I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the larger leaves and I'll show you how I ink the edges. I just dabbed a little on the foam on the ink blending tool, just kind of carefully rubbed around the edges. And that is it. That makes it super easy, and I will show you what one leaf that is inked looks like in comparison to one that is not. So you've got some nice definition there. It's also going to help create a little bit of definition between the leaves once I get them all adhered down. I have this really cute little photo of my dear friend's little guy, Liam. He is one of the cutest little guys you'll ever see. And I had seen a layout on Pinterest, and I was really inspired by that. It was by Vilna von Furstenberg, and she has a leaves layout on Pinterest, and you should look it up because it's really cool. Hers is much more feminine looking, and it's super pretty, and that was the inspiration that I used for creating this fall leaves layout. So I adhered down the largest leaves first. I had 4 of them die cut, but I only needed 3. So I adhered those down first, and then while I was trying to adhere, I was really paying attention to patterns and trying not to get the same patterns next to each other. I also made sure to only put adhesive down the centers of the leaves so the edges of the leaves could be turned up, or I could tuck leaves behind other leaves to create some depth and some dimension. I wasn't too worried about where the patterns fell and all of that there at the end of this layout because there are so many leaves on there, but when I first started, that's what I was looking at. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, Mom's got to finish.
Mommy,
Just a second, please.
I want to tell you something.
I'm recording. Can you wait, please? Okay, just a minute.
How long can this take?
Just a few more minutes. Okay, so there was my little one Quinn in to say hi. I had myself locked in my craft room, or so I thought, and she decided to pop in and say hi. So 3-year-old Quinn saying hello. Back to the layout though. So I am just adhering all of these guys down and trying to really cover up that section there. And I just tuck them behind each other or adhere them on top of each other, whatever it takes. It's really all up to you how you want to do it. I think this could be very stunning if it was done in solids, and I think that would look really cool as well. So finishing up adhering everything down, and in a second you'll see that I'm going to just double check where I want my photo, and I will pull out a few more of the photo play papers. I use the plaid and I also use the little fox paper, and I map my photo with those. I have to say that that little fox paper is probably my favorite out of this line, and it's one of my favorite fall papers I've ever seen. It is so cute. So finishing up with these, and I will pull out some of the papers trying to figure out what I'm going to use for a mat. Just tucking and finally deciding where the photo is going to go, and that's when I realized, well, I think I probably better get this matted and adhered down so I can put a few leaves going over the top edge of the photo. I thought about using that kind of cranberry, or, well, it kind of matches Fired Brick from Distress, that card, but I didn't like how the white lettering was going to show, so ended up with the foxes and the plaid paper, and I do already have a layout in my head cooked up for that fox paper. It's too cute to not use. And I thought, oh, those little foxes, they're just appropriate for little Liam because he's just a doll. So I'm going to adhere those few leaves, fill in some holes, and then I'm going to get out some spray inks. I'm using Heidi Swap Gold, and then I use Dark Calico from Studio Calico Mr. Huey's. I wanted to have a little bit of shine, and the papers are kind of a matte finish, and they are rather muted tones. They're not super vibrant. So I thought that having a little bit of the gold on there would be a nice touch. And then I also grab a few of the Fall Assortment sprinkles from Doodlebug Design and add those. The last step will be adding the spray ink, and then I use 2 stickers from the Element sticker sheet from Photoplay. Here I'm deciding which ones to use and covering up the photo so I don't get ink everywhere. I did want to get some spray ink on the leaves so those would catch light and kind of sparkle as well. So first the gold and then the dark calico, and then I will add the 2 cardstock stickers. I love the fox, and then I used the banner that says autumn. I used a few pop dots behind the fox to keep him on the page, and that is my layout. Thank you guys.